You're away from home, but still need to fulfill the needs of your family. You make your family happy by showing them love. Always listening to them and by making each member feel content and safe. WadzPay does not require cash or cards, enabling efficient and secure transactions no matter where you are in the world. WadzPay helps you to prioritize your family. You can send digital currencies easily, quickly, and safely with a few taps of your fingers. While all is under control, there's more time for playing around. Distance means nothing when someone means everything. Make every moment special with WadzPay.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Stas, and I will be the host for Episode 3 of WadzPay Spotlight. You might have noticed that Fran is shifting her seat. I'll be hosting today because there's a fantastic question that we are going to discuss. And Fran will be one of the participants, and I'll also be joined by two other fantastic WadzPay employees. So today we'll be talking about how women in blockchain are making a big impact. It's a fascinating topic. It's definitely not one from my direct area of expertise, which is why we have the help of our panelists to demystify some of the biases and discuss a little bit more about what is happening in the blockchain industry. So one thing that is absolutely true is more women are getting involved in the blockchain industry as this whole industry is becoming more and more mainstream. In a recent study, and this actually personally really surprised me, 43% of respondents who were interested in Bitcoin-related investments were actually women. I definitely had a bias that it was still a little bit more male skewed, especially coming into this industry in 2017, where it definitely was. But the world is absolutely shifting. Another absolutely fascinating data point is that in Binance, in this world of digital currencies, half of their employees are actually female. Another interesting note was that most digital currency investors are female. So why is this happening? What is going on? What is causing this mindset shift? And let's discuss more about this industry together. So one other thing that I would like to actually point out is that Fran, who came into WadzPay pretty much at the very beginning, and I've had the pleasure of working alongside her for what feels like a decade now, but is actually a little bit over a year. Fran actually became a digital currency investor quite early on into the WadzPay journey. And we'll be going to her and discussing what made her actually invest and bite the bullet. Now, Fran, all of you know, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about her profile, but she was a PR agency head of the year in 2019, and she brings fantastic experience across all sorts of industries. And you, of course, have gotten to know her very well as the lovely host of WadzPay Spotlight. And I apologize for stealing the spotlight for this particular episode. So, Fran, let me ask you, as a panelist, and as someone who is now a digital currency investor, what actually made you invest in this field?
Thanks, Nas. Hi, my name is Fran. Right now, I'm sitting as the one of the participants because this is a very sexy topic for me. So, what makes me become an investor of digital currency and also swift my career into blockchain? Basically, by a fortunate chance, I decided to made my bold, solid step to leave whatever my previous career and then switch my career to blockchain. this is some technology that cannot be, basically you can't be ignored anymore. Well, women on the other side, there's always been like a very much, because when we talk about blockchain, it's not something that you talk every day. Not you talk like, if you see women gather in some coffee shop, they won't talk about blockchain. So this is a very something new, but it's just the technology. It's hard for me to ignore. I started to basically, spending my shopping budget into to invest and try. There's a couple of factors. Some of the factors is you can see the factors of you become financially independent because you control everything that you got. And second, of course, you become, there's a lot of a sales channel that you can actually gain from this. I think that's how it started.
Interesting. Yeah, and I like your twist on that. You talked about financial independence. I think if I asked any of my guy friends, it would be to gamble and get rich as quickly as possible. So it's a very different perspective. Excellent. Now we have two other fantastic participants joining us as well. Maybe if we can just put up their slides, I'd love to discuss and introduce them. Okay, let's start with Ashita. If we can just project, fantastic. So this is a relatively new member to WadzPay, but of course you have seen the announcement. She's an amazing HR operational vice president for WadzPay. Over 16 years of qualitative experience in aligning HR strategies to business needs. She's worked for massive companies, really, various business units in fintech, electric vehicles, drones, e-commerce, and really brings a lot of diverse experiences to the team. And it's really a pleasure having her on board inside the organization. So, Ayesha, is there anything you want to say to the audience?
Thanks, Das. Thanks for giving me the opportunity and being a part of this spotlight today. I would really appreciate this opportunity and the platform where, as an HR person, I'm not only building a diverse employee set over here with WadzPay, but it's also wherein we are building a diversification across different culture, gender, and a lot of new aspects that we are bringing in the technology. So a lot of people working in NBFC and payment with payment side has not seen a digital currency payment side. So I think WadzPay is bringing really a new revolution in the market.
Great, very well said. And last but not least, we also have Anju, who I've had the absolute pleasure of working very closely with since she joined the organization. Incredibly popular team member at WadzPay. Definitely someone who likes to learn and push herself and teach others as well and innovate. So Anju hasn't been behind the camera yet with us, but she comes with a lot of years, in fact 23 years of IT experience across various industries, whether it's in aviation, whether it's in financial management, like at North Carolina, where I went to school as well, which was a nice little connecting point. And Anju seems to learn a lot. If you look at her educational qualifications, it really is one of the longest lists I've ever seen. So constantly trying to upgrade and know more about everything. So Anju, would you mind saying hello to our audience and our WadzPay community? I think you're just on mute, Anju, sorry.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for such a nice introduction, Stas. It has been a very nice journey with WadzPay, where I learned a lot. I got a chance to put multiple hats, doing a multiple kind of a tasks. And I am building my own team, which is working on different products for WadzPay. We have our own wallet, WadzPay wallet. We are working on a merchant dashboard. which is going to allow the merchants to sell their products in that where they will receive the payment in digital currencies. And we are going to have our own POS machine, that's a point of sale machine, which will allow the merchants to use it and sell their products through that and receive the payments. So it's looking very nice. The products are developing fast, and we are looking forward to launch them to the whole world.
Definitely, and I had the great pleasure of being able to see the product develop from kind of inception, and all the tremendous work that your team is really contributing. I know we're going live with some testing on the wallets, the US side of things, and it's absolutely incredibly exciting to have made it where we are, thanks to your wonderful leadership and your team. So I'm going to shift the topic a little bit. Now we've gotten to know the participant members. Whilst we were talking about this fantastic, I guess, and more interesting and fantastic news that, for example, 50% of finance and actually Bancor employees are female, which kind of is different to what people expect from blockchain-based companies. You would definitely expect them to be more male skewed, especially because the tech industry has been traditionally dominated or recruits a lot of males, and participation has always been a kind of a big barrier towards getting closer to what you would say is a 50-50 split. And this news about Binance kind of floored me, because I came into this industry in 2017, as I said, where pretty much the only people who were discussing digital currency, with some exceptions, were my male friends. And the people who are entering this industry were predominantly male. And in 2018, for example, there was a blockchain conference in Japan in 2018, and only 2 females participated in this conference. Additionally, there was a lack of the industry trying to attract women to actually participate and enter inside and educate, because it was dominated by males, and males knew how to market their own kind of industry to other guys, but not necessarily always to females. And in 2018, again, going back a number of years through the previous boom of crypto, they found that amongst 100 blockchain startups, only 14.5% were female employees and 7% were managers, and 78% had no female leaders whatsoever. What I'm curious about, since we have HR on the line as well, is that this is data from 2018, and from what you're observing from the industry, do you perceive that this is kind of shifting? Is there more participation from females in the industry? Are there more leadership positions that are held? Are more women getting interested in participating in the blockchain world? So over to you, Ashita.
Thanks, Das. As you likely said, that in 2018, the survey being conducted, and it really reveals the report that out of 100 startups which have started, only 78 startups didn't even had a single woman as their employee. However, with the revolution in the market, if we talk about the banker and the Binance companies like today who are leading in the cryptocurrency, they have more than 40 to 50% women employees being employed in today's world. Women not only communicate better, but they also connect and collaborate to execute things faster. So with that, when we talk about today's cryptocurrency or the digital currency world, women plays a vital role in development of blockchain technology, as they contributed in expansion as well as in the continuous development also in achieving the exceptional level of success. So women are gaining their ground in cryptocurrency, that I would mention. Thanks.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I have seen a radical shift, even from the resumes that I constantly review and receive for various positions at WadzPay. Even in 2020, when this kind of boom cycle was starting, it was pretty much 100% exclusively male, apart from maybe the marketing related tasks I was working on, apart from myself and the whole female team for the longest time. But in the other fields, it was pretty much just men applying. And now we really see a huge split. In some positions, it's definitely 50-50 or even more females trying to get into the roles than males, which is quite fascinating for me and definitely a big shift. And I think the industry has done a pretty good job in attracting and interesting people from all walks of life, from various genders. I do wonder what is driving it for sure. I don't have the answer for that. But it's becoming interesting and exciting. And I think, as Fran said, a very sexy place to work, whereby everyone wants to get into it because it's just so hot and it's top of mind and it's on the news everywhere. And regardless of how the market performs, there are a lot of jobs and a lot of ways that people can innovate, especially in payments. Payments being another very male-dominated industry traditionally. But people can really change and revolutionize the world. And I'm glad that all of us are part of this WadzPay transformation. So shifting gear a little bit, or elaborating on it, one other interesting thing that I learned is that there are now more women today in leadership roles within blockchain than in the tech world of Silicon Valley. If you take out and differentiate the two worlds, there's definitely more. It's still a very small number, definitely, very tiny. But it does show that there is more of an attractiveness towards blockchain versus some of the traditional worlds of tech for female participation. And there are really fantastic female leaders that we constantly work with, of course, at our partners at Algorand. There are many, JP Morgan Chase, Digital Asset Holdings, which was founded by Life Masters. Tezos as well as a female co-founder. So this is definitely, this is changing, and it's an active area of massive participation and massive success as well. So let's talk a little bit more about the role of women in this blockchain industry. And I think you said it very well. There's definitely complementary skill sets between different people. And of course, all genders are more alike than they are different, but there are certain areas where females have completely, absolutely stood out. And I think one of those fields definitely is in the marketing, PR, communication side of things. Definitely also in tech, of course, in project management, definitely in HR, pretty much everywhere across the organization. But I think the first, what I would call early adopters of going really deep inside the blockchain space was in marketing and communications. So Fran, would you say that you've also kind of observed that, where the marketing communications fields within blockchain have really seen a big increase of people wanting to get inside?
Yes, thanks, Das. Yes, I've seen a lot of development, enthusiasm, and also the way that we communicating and how to simplify. Talking about blockchain is no longer something that really complicated, and it's really evolving a lot. And yes, I agree to that statement.
Interesting. Okay, so next we're going to go over to I think the audience's favorite section, where we start answering some more in detail sections, and we get everyone's perspectives and their opinions about various topics. So the first topic is, what are the reasons why blockchain needs more influential women to join this industry? Should we start with Fran, just because you were just discussing about it?
Sure. There's one statement, basically it comes from an old days, like the first rule for being women in blockchain, you don't speak that you're a woman in blockchain. So all right, let's just park there. So this is actually a new opportunity to engage women. Is important to be part of conversation, and we as a woman, we're trying to break the mold, because this industry, this sector is really do you know if you ever heard about this, like fintech bro culture? So we women trying to talk about blockchain, but not as being women in blockchain. So we're trying to break the mold here. Why we need women to take part? is to accelerate the industry. Women is famous being a good multitasker. So accelerate. So we'll move fast. So it is something that this new economy is something that you need to talk, and women needs to be in the forefront for that. First, to accelerate the industry and the sector. Second, it's about how women to have a confidence, because I started my career, I don't have IT background, I don't have any financial background. My background has always been public relations and communications, but right now I'm here to basically educate to to people about what we are trying to solve. There's a lot of use cases about blockchain, but in this case, it's payment. There's a lot of like how to communicate. What are we trying to? What problem in the market and what we're trying to solve. So it is important to have women, but then after that, after we get the enthusiasm, sometimes we don't have the access. So like let's say I went to one conference, so there's like 87 speakers, so it's a blockchain metaverse topic of conference. Out of 87 speakers, there's only 3 women speakers. So access is also one of the factors. When you get the enthusiasm, how's the access, how's people accelerate this. So I think it's important on because women also, like based on the data and the study, like all the digital currency traders, investors is also now is dominated by female too, like female investors. So this is something you can't ignore seriously. Yeah, I hope that answer. I don't know. Well, probably Anju could add on in this my statement. Why we need women in this industry?
We need women to influence other women, to increase more participation. And there is no better example than a leading woman to all the other women. Because we thrive for that kind of a situation. We look forward for the women who have achieved beyond their imagination. So to be an example, to be a leader, we need few of those leaders. And as we know that all our females are more analytical, because we do not jump on and make any kind of financial decision without thinking it through. As Stas mentioned that in earlier days in blockchain, only male were the participants because female didn't have a data to refer to, that how good it will be, what will be the challenges. They analyzed it, they jumped to it, they are sticking with it. So that's my take in it.
Makes sense. Love the answers. And I love what you said, Fran, about access as well. I mean, it's fascinating that from a speaking perspective, especially, it is quite male dominated still. I mean, a lot of those guys own their own companies and they want to put themselves as the face of it. And what I've observed through working through our marketing and communications team is I tend to be, in a lot of the other guys in the company, we're very technical, and we talk in a language that most other people don't really understand. Whereas you guys always help me to kind of translate that, what I'm trying to say into real people speak that my mother could understand. Whereas if my mom asks me about blockchain, I'll bore her pants off, and they could keep droning on about the technology side of things.
Yeah.
So Ashita as well, I really want to hear about your perspective. What are some of the reasons that you think blockchain needs influential women, and how are you kind of spearheading some of that charge from HR?
In blockchain, as you likely said, in WadzPay, we are slowly and gradually increasing the dominance of women. We surely believe on equal opportunity. So with blockchain competition in the market, we are not only building in the developers who are working on the blockchain methodology, but at the same point in time, women are approximately 10 to 20% more into developing the activities and their investment into cryptocurrency, as we have done a recent study through a research which says that 8.3% of the women saves more than the men, wherein they do they do the investment into a diversified fields, and they are able to do a more uh, analytical study about the fact, and they are able to put the savings in a diverse market so that they are getting a high return in cryptocurrencies also.
Interesting. And what I am also quite frequently seeing now is pretty much, I mean, we hire based on job description and fit for the role, and just based on where all organizational gaps are. It's not that we're going out of our way to prioritize anyone over another person. But a lot of the recent hires across various levels have been female, which is another interesting thing. Whereas at the beginning of our company, it was disproportionately male. So that is definitely changing as well, which is great to see, because we're feeling a lot of capabilities that were very kind of needed to get filled very quickly. So I'm going to ask another question. And some of you have kind of alluded to it or discussed it already. Why? I'll start with that story from 2017 into 2018. How really, unlike most of my other friends, male friends, I did spend a lot of time researching before investing in digital currencies. But most of my friends just bought. They saw things were going up and they wanted to take a punt. They wanted to take a gamble. They were just, let's go all in. And my investor circle of friends was exclusively 100% male. Now, if I look back at 2022 and through 2021 as well, my investor circle of friends is really diverse. It's definitely not male anymore. So something has definitely led to that shift. So I know some of you have kind of alluded to it, but let's just answer that question directly, as I think it would be quite interesting. So why are all of you thinking that we're seeing more females now investing in digital currencies and the blockchain world in recent times compared to, say, the previous market cycles of 2017, I think it was 2013 before that. We can keep going on and on in history before that. So Fran, let's start with you.
Like, why are we seeing more female right now?
Yeah, versus let's say 2017. Why are more females like yourself investing?
Yeah, there's a lot of success stories and also bad stories. Again, for me, I started with curiosity that comes to invest small from my shopping budget, and then from shopping budget, another budget to allocate it. And then I feel that there is some beneficial from that. And then again, for you cannot look down women community, right? Because it's a domino effect. Once, say, because my friend tried to, trying to allocate budget on A, and then my other friends is also following it. So that kind of effect from that, and then it becomes bigger, but it starts from curiosity, and then the benefits from them, from after that, right? Because we see the real result. Okay, so for me, but what is most like a valid example, especially from my department, PR and communications. I mean, in WadzPay, we develop a product, and then good product, basically, as a communicator, good product will speak for themselves. Like, you don't need to communicate, our product is very good compared to another product. But again, good product is really speak for themselves, as I mentioned. So again, why we see more female? Because I see the confidence of female now is more, it's more bold to make a, it's more bold being vocal in this sector. I can see that because there's a delicate difference between you want to trying to break the bias because, again, I don't come from IT background and also financial background, but then there's a support system as well that give you a stage and access again. So yeah, that is why a couple of factors that why we've seen a lot of female. And I think from the old days that female basically been leading financial and also STM, like science, technology, and math too. So why don't we take over blockchain too, right?
Yeah. Don't fully take over it. I still need a share of the pie. So Ashita, what is your perspective as well? Why do you think that we're seeing this shift in investment strategies and females really investing in digital currencies?
So I would say twice as a man, there are women as well who are investing into a digital currency. Not only out of curiosity, but as we look at the data, roughly 19% of the women are between the age of 18 to 29 who are more into investing into a digital currency because of high percentage of return. People are a little bit jittery of getting the much more benefits in a shorter period of time. And we look at the 43% men who are there in the same age group who are also investing into this investment. However, with the opportunity of getting a short-term benefits are really increasing the youth who are investing more into the digital currency.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I'd like to see the data by age groups as well across investors. Definitely, younger people, younger generations tend to be more interested in digital currencies and related products such as the NFTs and the metaverse. I did see some data around that, especially around the metaverse. The younger you get, the more likely you are to participate and be interested in those topics.
As we are building the team for the WadzPay, just to add upon it, so when we look for the talent across the globe, across the different sectors, we find a lot of people who are between the age of 25 to 30 who have been really working hard and they want to upgrade themselves to the blockchain technology. So that's how they are learning the blockchain technology, as well as they have their interest to invest into cryptocurrency, how it's giving the returns. So of course, age is another one factor which is building upon the curiosity.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, Andrew, as well, same question right back at you. Why are we seeing more females investing, and how do you think that digital currency investment process can differ between the two genders?
I believe that from last 5 years, we have seen the ups and downs in that digital currency arena. That BTC has gone down a lot, but still there is a stable amount there. The growth is still there. So it's not like going everything down. So that gives the encouragement to more and more people to invest. And females, after seeing all those things and considering the risk which is involved, and if they are comfortable with their savings, yes, they are ready to diversify their portfolio. And blockchain is a venue which allows them to diversify it in entirely different direction. Because traditional investment ways like mutual funds, then there are share market and others, they have reached a kind of a maturity. There is also highs and lows. But the kind of highs which we get through the digital currency is uncomparable in any other arena, which is very attractive in itself. So it's also attracting more and more females these days.
Makes sense to me. I'm also very curious to potentially find out, and I haven't seen any data points around that, and I don't think we have them, but rather than a digital currency investment standpoint, also whether there's a big shift in equity-based investments in blockchain-based payment companies as well. So I guess we'll find out, as I think right now for fundraising, a lot of companies are going up to the digital currency route, but I think that will change in the future into into public or privately listed companies with angel
Oh, yeah.
investors and lots of series of
Look forward
funding.
for a lot of female investors there also.
Definitely, yeah. Great. So we have a couple of questions from the audience. The first one is, and this is a very personal question for all of you, and I think it's been answered by some, so in the interest of time, we might skip it for Fran. I apologize, as you have answered it. But I would like to know what makes you interested in blockchain and the payment/fintech world. As we saw all of your resumes, they were incredibly diverse from various fields. And Ashita and Anju, you both made a giant leap into this amazing field of blockchain. So Anju, we'll start with yourself and then we'll head over to Ashita. So I'm very curious about the answers as well.
Anju, you were starting first?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. I think blockchain is streamlining the banking and the lending services and reducing the risk factors of the duplicacy or any fraudulent activities. So with that, blockchain is coming within a very trusted methodology of building the finance sector and the payment sector into a very safe platform. And that's how it's a new technology wherein I want to explore not only as in a human resource department, but with the building of a team. I interact with a lot of people, gaining a lot of info about the market space, the tech, and different aspects to that, which is attached to the blockchain market. So it's more about learning, planning, and coordinating with a lot of people. So with my motto to be with WadzPay and a blockchain, it's more about communicate, connect, and collaborate. That's how we are building up the WadzPay.
I definitely love that point. It's definitely very inspiring, and it's always great for me to hear why other people are joining this digital currency blockchain-based industries, because for me, it's something I've really been in since 2017. But for others joining and making big career leaps from where they were previously and taking that gamble and that risk of joining this relatively underdeveloped field, it's always great for me to hear. So Anju, same question for yourself. Why blockchain now?
I have tried different industries, worked for different clients, worked for different domains, because in IT, you get a chance to work in each and every domain once in a while in your career. And blockchain I haven't covered, so it looked kind of exciting, new, and gave me an opportunity to learn new things, which were you can say that uncharted territories for me. And I wanted to go and see that, and learned a lot, even from you, Stas. You were a kind of a teacher initially, who taught me a few things which I didn't know about the blockchain and digital currencies. So thanks for that, Stas. And I'm really enjoying my journey and having a lot of fun with it.
Definitely. I think what everyone values about joining this industry is just how much of a learning curve and a learning experience it is initially, but after things click into place, just how you can kind of see the vision and the change that you can bring about to the world by leveraging this amazing technology. So we have one very last question, and I like this question as the kind of final one to pose to the team. It's a simple question. It's more of a statement at first. Digital currency is going to change the financial world. Do you all agree or disagree with this? So let's start with Fran, because
I agree.
you agree.
Oh, of course. I very agree, super agree to that statement. It's already, I think it's already, what do you call that? Like, we're already disrupted. The way we transact every day, the way we, from habit, is just, of course, it will. So that's why I super agree. Sorry, Anju, I know that you have something to say now. you're you're like stand by. Sure, go ahead.
No, I would like to have Ashita's word at first. Then I will conclude it.
Okay, Ashita.
I will keep it short as still the central bank is into that we are going to issue the digital currency or not in India. However, digital and the cryptocurrency are rapidly changing the nature of money itself. So it's still to look at the fact of the financial sector that how bank gonna issue the money and how we gonna have the financial stability in the system. But of course, with the blockchain methodology across the globe, it will be completely safe and it gonna bring the currency in a very fair manner. So everything will be on a standard platform. Everyone gonna be with digital currency cutting the edge across the borders, and we will have a good regulatory impact with that. So looking really forward to.
Brilliant. And Anju, your conclusion.
I totally agree that it's going to change entirely whole financial economical system whole around the world. It will not be dominated by one single country, which has been going on for a very long period. So it's going to bring all countries at the same level, where the digital currencies will be accepted all across. So it will bring the equality, it will bring the transparency, it will get rid of all the banking fees and other things which are a part, which take a lot of that our financial transactions. We need to have a certain system. It will take all that off. It will make the life easier. It will have its own challenges though, but they will streamline down the line, and it will be better for the whole world to have it in place.
Yeah, fantastic conclusion. So thank you very much to all the fantastic participants for today's discussion. It was fun to be a host for the first time rather than being on the other side of the camera. If I can conclude from everything we spoke about today, my kind of takeaway is that definitely there are more females entering this blockchain world, whether they could be as traders or as employees in various organizations. And I think my personal belief is rather than prescribing or talking about ratios, what blockchain still needs to do, and it is currently doing, is to really show how attractive this industry is for everyone and anyone. And that will bring in the right inflow of talent into various organizations. And I think that's where we will see more equal splits, because there are certain things that people are really absolutely fantastic at. And we are hiring constantly. We are expanding and growing. So please do check out the job listings on our website, a lovely restaged website. And we'd love to chat with you and have you be part of our team. So that concludes WadzPay Spotlight episode 3. We look forward to bringing you episode 4, where we discuss everything and anything that's hot in blockchain.
Thank you.
Thanks, Das.
Today's your day. But somehow, she thinks that you don't seem excited. Sometimes things don't always go according to plan. You just need to keep the spark alive. Finding something special you love from your childhood can be like opening a memory jar. Very little is needed to make a happy life. WadzPay helps you to secure your happiness. Just by scanning the QR code, you can make a safe and secure transaction using digital currencies. It would take effort and compromise to maintain a happy relationship. With WadzPay, you can prepare for anything. Simplicity, security, and efficiency in your hand. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you know it's love when all you want is that person to be happy. Make every moment special with WadzPay.